Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Photo Peeps, and this is season 2. We've made it to another season, and our guest tonight is not only a landscape photographer, but a wildlife photographer, woodland, into the street big time, and is also a pub landlord, believe it or not, and gets time running the pub, gets outside with his camera. And our guest tonight is Mr. Gary Norman. So, welcome, Gary.
Hello.
Evening,
Hi, guys.
Evening.
Hi, guys. You good?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'll tell you what, this is lovely. This is one of those podcasts I haven't got to edit. So I can just chill. I might drop a swear word in every now and again. And so
don't worry about it.
We'll go to the loo, because I know how annoying it is. So, yeah.
You haven't got a packet of piss there, have you, in a pint?
No, I'll find something. I could probably twang this for a bit.
Yeah. So, as it's Photo Peeps, Gary, this is all about you and your photography. So,
Okay.
Where did it all start with photography for you?
Oh, God. Well, even when I was young, so when we used to go on like holidays, we'd have like, the little disposable cameras, and I'd always try and take interesting shots, so interesting angles, or shoot things from a different way that people maybe like my rest of my family wouldn't see. It's just a snapshot. But really and truly, I guess it was about 2012, I think, somewhere around then. I got my first DSLR. No, actually, prior to that, I had a Panasonic Lumix Micro Four Thirds I used to use a little bit, but then after that, about 2012, I got a Rebel T3i, I think, something like that, with a couple of zoom lenses and the nifty 50. And that was when I really started going out and taking photos and sort of enjoying myself. And then I sort of hooked onto the older YouTube, started watching Thomas Heaton, mainly really Thomas Heaton, Jason Jones, because he was about back then, and Paul Johnson, and they were kind of my three sort of inspirations. And I was lucky enough to come across, or sounds lucky, it's not very, very lucky, I got some inheritance. I managed to buy a Canon 5D Mark III with some nice sort of L glass, and and it really took off from there. And I decided to do a bit of vlogging, which then pushed me into going out more often. So
yeah. Oh, nice one. And I think, do you still use the Canon 5D now, or have you moved it to
No, that's gone. So I sold that in lockdown. Funnily enough, I was really happy with it. I love the 5D Mark III, but I was just getting into a bit of wildlife at that point, and it's not the focusing system on it is it's like sort of something from the Middle Ages, and the burst rate's like one in every sort of 5 minutes. Not the best for wildlife. So, and I went to Wales, and I was at Barmouth taking some shots, and it was a horrific day. And I went to switch my lenses over, and I think I got a little bit of water on one of the connections, and I started to get an error on the 5D. So even though I tried it all out, I was fine, I kind of lost my confidence in it. So, and at that point, I was thinking Sony anyway. I was looking to upgrade into a Sony, and ended up getting an A7R III. So that's what well, it's not what I use now, is it? Is it?
Well,
Let's be honest.
Oh, well. Yeah, we'll get into that actually. Yeah.
At the moment, I'm kind of cameraless. I've got a 700D up there, which is one that my father-in-law gave to me. Well, he actually gave it to my daughter ages ago. But yeah, that's it. But yeah, I was up until very recently using a Sony A7R III. So
won the step up to the mirrorless, the cameraless.
yeah.
It does too soon.
Yeah. Now I don't even have to bother pressing the shutter button. I just look at the image with my eyes and imagine what it might look like if I had a camera.
Well, that's going to come soon, isn't it? As soon as you look through that, as soon as you blink or something, it's going to start and take an image.
You can. Yeah, you could just call me an early adopter.
There you go.
Just got in there before everyone else.
Yeah. Well, we'll bypass Canon and Nikon. Sony, if you're listening, there you go. Gary's got something for you to work on.
Are you going to still stick with Sony?
Yes, I am. So I've literally been thinking about this today. So actually for the last few days, I've had a look at the Sonys, and I really like the A7CR. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
So it's like the more compact version, but it's got the resolution. So it's kind of like the baby A7R5. But as I had all my gear stolen, I'm thinking of getting 2 bodies. So what I might do is keep to my A7R3, which you can get reasonably cheaply now. So go and buy one from MPB because they're about £1,000, I think now, a little bit over. And then maybe get something like a Micro Four Thirds, something like an Olympus, for my street photography. So then, if anything happens, if I have another incident doing street photography, I've still got a backup camera. Whereas because I put all my eggs in one basket here, getting it stolen, I've got nothing. I've got nothing to
Yeah.
fall back on. So yeah,
That will never happen again, though.
no, well, hopefully not.
You'll
Yeah,
be more aware of.
absolutely. That'll be like
Yeah.
attached to my body at all times. You
Yeah.
know, after
Yeah.
that. So
Do you want to elaborate on what's actually happened, Gary?
yeah, sure,
with
of course.
camera gear?
So I was recording some. I do a London A to Z thing, which is my street photography vlogs, and I've just done the Jubilee line and Kensington, and honestly, I'm glad I got some great shots, really good shots. But the weather was crap, so it'd been raining most of the day, which does give you good shots for street actually, because you've got reflections and you've got umbrellas and things like that, and steamy windows. But I was getting a bit wet, so I decided to go and sit in a pub for a bit and let it dry off, and it will let me dry off. And I was going to go back out and do Leicester Square for my L. And I had my camera bag with me, so camera bag is literally just sat down by the side of me while I'm having a drink. And then I get up to put my coat on. It's about an hour later. Get up to put my coat on and go to get my bag, and bag's gone. It's not there. So at some point, someone's come in and pilfered my bag. So, and it had my camera, 5 lenses, a laptop. I mean, God, it just all my video recording equipment, the lot, just gone. Now I am insured, so I'm still waiting to hear from the insurance, but hopefully that's all going to come through okay. But it's more gutting. It's more gutting the fact that I've lost all of those images from that day. You know,
Yeah.
and that sounds
Kit's replacement, isn't
it
it?
sounds stupid, doesn't it? You know, because
Well,
you would say your camera gear is worth way more, but some of the images I took, I was like, oh, I'm really looking forward to getting them home and editing them, and it's just losing that, and then all the footage, and you kind of feel violated as well because someone else has got all your images, and they've got all your, they've got all the stupid things that you've said on camera, and and I always used to leave my microphone running, so no doubt they'll have heard me ordering a McDonald's somewhere and probably eating the McDonald's somewhere, and then having to go to the loo after. Anyway, yeah. So but it is what it is.
Well, fingers crossed, everything will get replaced for you. But that's it.
So,
But you said it's the loss of the images, isn't it? That's what's
it is
going to get people. Is that?
And if any viewers that watch this, know anything about it or come across this camera gear in London,
absolutely.
It won't be kept. It'll be for sale. It'll be gone.
Oh yeah.
Whereabouts in London was it, Gary?
It was it was Great Portland Street. So just off Oxford Street, because obviously I was heading that way. The pub was aptly called the Cock, because that's what it felt like.
Yeah. Well, some Cock's done this, haven't they? So
yeah. So but that's where it
was. Do you have the serial number at camera?
No, you see, stupidly, another lesson learned there. I didn't, and I've got all the boxes, and I was thinking, oh, maybe it's from the box.
It might be on the box,
but there's nothing on the boxes either. So, and it's, I mean, guttingly, the camera and my main lens, they're the two sort of big ones that have gone, obviously, on the laptop as well. But yeah. But there was also vintage lenses in there that going to find hard to. One of them had literally been given that week by Alan Coles. He said, oh, try this Canon FD. Like 50mm 1.4, and I've been using it and I was loving it. But so it is what it is. I can't get too stressed over it because otherwise I'd just beat myself up.
So. Yeah, exactly.
Not going to change, is it?
No, exactly. Exactly.
Main thing is that you're okay. That could have went a different way. Rather than have it taken from your table, you could have been mugged.
Yeah, exactly.
So if there's a better way of losing your kit, that's maybe it.
But I would say, and I said this on my video, that's probably not an opportunity theft. They'd probably go through the pubs periodically and look for bags to take. But central London generally for street photography, I find really safe. Because it's busy, it's a crowded environment. You've always got tourists there, all times of day and night, and you're less likely to get mugged. You might get your bag snatched and someone run off or your phone, but I don't think you're likely to have any violence against you in central London.
Yeah.
I'd be much more worried if I was, say, in Tower Hamlets doing some street photography on an estate or something. That's a different matter. But central London, I'd say, is pretty safe. So, and if people watch the video and if any of this experience has made people go, well, I'm not sure I should, do street photography or go to London, I'd say, no, just do it. Just do it. It's fine. This is an isolated incident, and it's my own fault because I wasn't really looking after my bag as I should. So,
and that's the importance of having insurance as well.
Absolutely.
If you want
absolutely.
You want insurance.
Yeah. I mean, there was $5.5 grand worth of stuff in there, mate.
Yeah.
If the insurance, if I hadn't got an insurance, I'd never be able to replace that. I've got no chance. No chance at all. So.
But we was on about it yesterday, weren't we? We were on about air tags in your bag and stitching one in or stitching two in.
Yeah. Well, go on, sorry.
You could have looked to see where your bag is. You might have found your bag, but you might not have found your camera. But
no. Well, I know Peak Design do a little base plate that you can slot an air tag into, and you can screw it in. And maybe a lot of criminals would know that there was one in there. Wouldn't even give it a second thought. Because mine had an L bracket on it, but it hasn't got anything. But that, you're not going to look at that and go, "What's that about?" The trouble is, though, a lot of people said in the comments, what about an air tag? But I know if there'd have been an air tag, I'd have gone after it. I know I would. And then you think, well, then what? What if they got a knife or,
It's not like you could have reported it to police and then,
Yeah, but I know I'd have gone after it. I know I would. I know I'd have gone, there's no way they're getting away with my bag.
I think,
like I say, you just feel violated, don't you?
I think any photographer in that situation, if they have the air tag or similar, we'd go. I think we'd all be down there.
Exactly. Stupidly.
Exactly. Exactly. And in hindsight, I think, well, yes, definitely get an air tag, but I need to make sure that I control my emotions if it ever happened again and go, okay, well, I'll just give the police that information. I mean, I did have a set of AirPods stolen, and I was kind of hoping they might open the AirPods, which would then allow me to locate it. But the last time they've been located was when I shut them down after getting off the train at London Bridge. So,
right. What we'll do now then, we'll jump into Gary's images.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll start with this. So, where did the love of landscape come from, Gary? And where was this? This looks really frosty and everything.
Okay, so this I'll talk about this first. This was at Wicken Fen, which is in Cambridgeshire, just near Ely, and I was there actually with Jamie Overland that morning, and it was beautiful because there was a hoarfrost and there was a fantastic mist, and I've taken, I think there's another shot that I've given you that's very similar to this, but from a different angle of the same wind pump. But this one I just wanted to do something different. Because I don't think it gets shot from this angle very much. It all often gets shot from the other one, with the boardwalk sort of as a leading line. But I don't know. I just like these little seats that little viewing. I don't know what that is. I mean, just sit there and look at the wind pump and go, "Oh, it's a wind pump." It's for what it's there for.
Windy Miller.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just saw that and thought, yeah, it looks really nice. And that day was stunning. It was just beautiful because it was misty like that for quite a long time, and with the sun coming up and it was all diffused, it was and I got lots of really nice shots from that day. But then, this is the other one. Yeah. So this is the other one. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've done a little bit on this one. You see where you've got all the reeds that are coming up in the actual body of the wind pump.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of like that most of the way across, but I took those out. So I basically cloned those out, a lot of those out. I've left a few in so it doesn't look unnatural, but I cloned most of those out. But again, it was just gorgeous. And I wasn't on my own there. There was a photographer there called Nigel Northwood, who you might know. I don't know if you know him. He's on Instagram. He was there. There was a few other guys all sort of milling about because obviously you get that, it's going to be foggy and the whole world turns up. But I was just lucky I got there first. And I mean, I just love the atmosphere in that shot.
Yeah. I think that's come across as well, hasn't it? The atmosphere you've captured in this.
Yeah. And the tones, I tried to keep it, when I was editing, probably could have gone more saturated, but I tried to keep it quite sort of dulled down, so you get a lot of nice sort of brown, earthy tones with a little bit of the sort of, the golden light.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Nice.
And you've got it with no footprints with being first one there as well.
I was the first one there. You see, that's the benefit of being the first one there. So, yeah, there are loads of footprints after that because I just literally skidded all along there. So no one else is getting a shot of this. Oh
no. Oh, nice. But yeah, what a lovely morning that was.
Yeah, it was
and
beautiful.
Going on to the next one.
Oh, yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
The Lake District, I gather.
Yeah. So this was at the top of King's How. So this is the Borrowdale Valley.
Yeah.
I was mad. So this wasn't, none of this was on a tripod. This was like, I took loads of photos very similar to this, and they're all handheld because it was just so windy up there. This light was just coming in and out so fast because it was so windy, and it was just like literally handheld, get the shot, move on, get the shot. I mean, another one, there was a rainbow in it. I didn't quite get that one, unfortunately. Tried to do a pano of that, a handheld pano of that, but it didn't quite come out. But yeah, it's just gorgeous. But Jesus, mate, I tell you, have you been up King's How?
I haven't done King's How. I've been up on the other side.
Yeah, don't.
So, what memories have you got from this day then, Gary?
I fell over 4 times on the way back down. That's my main memory of this day. I've got up to, I was up there with Daz, Jamie and Sam as well for the podcast, and we met up because we were camping, and this was the first day. And going up was tough, right? We went up this one particular way. So there's one way you can go up, which is all steps, and then there's this other way which isn't, and it's slightly less steep going up. But that was tough. But coming down, it was the steps, and they were all facing away from you, and they were all wet.
Oh no!
And the other guys are just like, yeah, no problem. But me being a big fat oaf, I was like, every step I was like, I'm going to fall over, and I did. I fell over 4 times. So, but it's. I mean, I love those conditions there. Sort of like my favourite conditions, really.
Yeah.
Just gorgeous.
If you get these in the Lake District, it's just a different place, isn't it? It just adds to the drama and everything with it.
It does, and you always get these on the worst days, because it has to rain and be in and out and cloudy and difficult and windy to get this. You wouldn't get this on a nice easy day because you just don't get that sort of those clouds, that sun coming through the clouds, because they just don't do it.
Yeah, we see that little icon, don't we, on the weather app, sunshine and showers.
Yeah,
and that's it.
And that's the best time, really. I think bad weather. Like most of my best photos are in bad weather.
Yeah.
Or shall we say, weather?
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think a lot of people as well, when the rain comes in, it sets in. That's their cue to leave. But I've always found,
absolutely,
if you can hold it out,
yeah,
when that storm passes, they're the best conditions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So a lot of people just take cover and just call it a day.
Yeah, and there's a big thing, I think, for being patient. In landscape, and it sounds obvious, but I haven't put it up here. But I shot the lone tree at Clinpadan, and there was me and one other person there on this morning, and it was grey and it was flat. And I was waiting the sunrise. Sunrise was coming. I was waiting. It was grey and it was flat. And this woman was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to stay." And she went. And literally 10 minutes after, you got this most amazing shaft of light going across the mountains in the background. And the shot, it's just still one of my favourites now. I've literally got it up above me on the wall there. And she missed that because she just wasn't patient enough. She just didn't wait that extra 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's that's the love of nature, isn't it? Being outdoors. It's just sitting and waiting and taking it all in.
Yeah. I mean, this shot, being up there was amazing. Like, getting up there was hell. Getting down was worse. But being up there, the physical, just, being in that and just everything going off around you, the light was just going off everywhere, and it was really windy, and it was just absolutely fantastic,
But this is why we do it, though, isn't it? Absolutely. This is the reason why we do landscape photography.
Yeah, Yeah, totally.
The rewards you get outweigh the cons.
Yeah, they do.
I'm sure you all agree.
Yeah. And I've got that shot forever, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. And obviously the memories as well. The memories, it's flooding back to you now. The hardness of getting up there, getting back down, and you've got this. Yeah.
I've got that afterwards. I mean, the worst bit, other than the falling down, was we got right near the bottom, and then it started to go up again. And I'm like, what really? Why can't it just go down? Like, you're going down, can't it just keep going down until we get to the bottom? Why have I got to go up again to go down again? What's going on?
The worst one I've done like that, and I think that Daz were with me. We went from Bleed Tarn up to Lingmore.
Oh, and through Batman's Agony.
Yes, but that was later on. Right. But we went up, down. It had 5 or 6 false summits. And
they are awful. They are destroying.
Yeah.
And weather-wise, when we were at Cat Bills.
Was that bad?
They were
that was awful.
It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous.
Well, funnily enough, we went out the next day down to the bottom of this. I can't remember what it's called. There's a big rock there. I can't remember, somebody's boulder or something it's called. And we were just around there, and my God, the heavens opened. Honestly, like everything got soaked. Like literally, like I was soaked down to my underwear, and it was just absolutely shocking. And that day, I couldn't take any photos because it was so bad.
God.
Yeah.
That's bad, isn't it? Yeah. Right, let's go to the next one.
This one was a place called Brinklow, I think, which is in Lincolnshire. And I'd seen this image a couple of times before, and because I don't know about you guys, but when you're doing videos, you're kind of thinking, well, at this point, I was definitely thinking I need to be shooting places maybe that aren't so popular, that other people maybe haven't seen or haven't heard of. So I found this, and I actually went on to Bempton Cliffs from here. So this was really early in the morning. But it's a great little thing. I mean, it's a bit ruined by the tractor marks around the where they're circling. Circling around.
Yeah. The lines going in though work so well.
Oh yeah,
the rolling hills opposite. Yeah,
those lines are amazing. And the sun was coming in from the top left, so and I've literally cropped it as close to the sky as I can, just to get no sky in, because the sky would just be too distracting. And I think the lines of the tractors work well, but it's just those circular ones. I wish they weren't there. But the
one thing that stands out for me is, I don't know if it was intentional, but the trees at the top and the grass at the bottom, they're kind of opposites, if that makes sense.
I'll be honest,
like a triangular shape.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, Dan. It wasn't intentional, but it was once I got home. So when I took the shot, I hadn't.
It's well framed.
Yeah, I hadn't realised. You've got the same shape at the top and the bottom. But when I got home, I went, hang on a minute, that would look quite nice, because there was actually quite a lot more foreground in the original image. So if you had the uncropped image, you've got quite a bit more foreground, and then you've got a bit of sky at the top. But I just thought it looked quite nice.
Yeah, that's the beauty of editing, though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's the artistic in us all. We all do things that bit different.
Exactly, and I also think as well that I've put a linear gradient on from the far left hand side into about a third, and just given it a little bit of extra exposure and a little bit of warming up, because I knew the sun was coming in from that direction, and on that day it did look like that, but it didn't quite capture it in the image. So I just thought I'll just bring a bit of that back by doing that. And that's, like you say, that's the thing, the beauty of editing, isn't it? That's the thing you can do with the edit.
Yeah, too right. It's all our artistic side, isn't it? What everyone sees different in the image.
Exactly.
So what I love about this, how the sun's capturing the dew on the grass in that foreground.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. I mean, I don't take that many landscape shots anymore, but I always emphasise. So that foreground, along that line where the foreground disappears, where it drops over the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
I would have put a linear gradient on there, and I would have just bumped up the clarity and the contrast, just to make it a bit crisper. So it looks a bit more a bit sharper in that.
Yeah, it looks closer to the camera, doesn't it? It makes you feel a bit closer to it.
Yeah, it brings that out because it's so in the background. It's so sort of muted and it's sort of very out of focus, if you like, because of the way that the light's streaming in. You just bring some sharp focus into that foreground.
Yeah, it was just an isolated subject. It's
just so simple.
It is
just a simple, clean image.
And the simple images always work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Without said my previous comment, I thought the exact same thing. The simplicity.
We're doing
Listen to you, the simplicity.
Right. The next one, the roaches, Gary.
That's the roaches. Yeah. This is really early in my sort of landscape photography. Because I went out. So when I got my camera, when I got my 5D, I went to Snowdonia a couple of times, but never didn't record it. And then I decided to start making videos because I thought, well, if you make videos, it's going to kind of force you out more, make you do more bits and pieces. So, and this is like about video 4 or something. But this image never appeared on. Well, it did, but not in this form. It never appeared on the video. So when I first took this, that's hen cloud in the background.
Yeah.
And hen cloud was covered in heather because it was that time of year. And it was it wasn't vibrant heather, but it was almost like where it was just starting to die off, I think. But it was very purple, and the sun's coming in from the left-hand side. So I had it in colour, and it was quite. When I took it, I liked it, but it was quite washed out. And literally about probably a year or two later, I went back to it and thought, you know what, I think that looked really good black and white. And I'm not a massive fan of re-editing. I'm not someone who goes back over all my old images and starts to re-edit. But I think it might even have been during lockdown, when we weren't getting out and doing anything. I can't quite remember when it was. But I thought, I'm going to re-edit this image in black and white. And I think it works really well in black and white.
I love a black and white landscape.
Yeah.
Really do. Yeah. Especially when there's nice big walls and stuff like that you've got in here, this wall leading you down to the big rock formation. It's just something about them that adds something to a black and white image.
Absolutely. I'll tell you something though. That horizon, have you ever shot there?
Yeah.
That horizon's not that. The horizon's like all over the place. I literally think what I've done is got what is it called? Liquify. The Liquify tool in Photoshop. Just like pull that hill down, pull that up a bit. It doesn't actually. You can't actually go out and take that photo straight out of camera because those hills are more rolling in the background. But no, I'm flattening that out.
You find that with a lot of landscapes, though, don't you? That the horizons is never. Your camera can be level.
Yeah.
But when you get it back, the horizon is never level. It's always a rolling hill or something dropping off somewhere.
Yeah. But that one's really noticeably. It's all over the place. The horizon there. It's really much more. It's much more hilly, and it's not even. I mean, I couldn't tell you now. I could probably go back and look at the original, but if I went back and looked, it would look nothing like that. It would be like I have really messed about with that to get that as flat as it is.
Yeah.
Which could say cheating, but there you go. I like it. So I like
it's a personal taste, isn't it?
Exactly.
End of the day, you take an image for you, and what you see when you're editing, you do it to your taste.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then from landscape, we get to the poppies.
Oh yeah, let's see. This where's this? This is at a place called Knocking Hoe, and this is like 5-minute drive from my house.
Oh,
so nice. It's lovely, and it's literally I'm not sure actually if that's there, if it's still there. I haven't checked the last couple of years, but every year the farmer just lets this field grow, and it's obviously so where the tree line is. I think the house in the distance is a farmhouse, and there's a road that runs along there, but it's a private road, so you can't drive up there. You have to walk. So you walk up, and then you come, and it's sort of looking down. And the sky on that night was just. I mean, that's got to be mid-June, I reckon. Mid-June, maybe early July. The sky on that night was just fantastic, and you're talking like that's like 10 o'clock in the evening, something ridiculous, like 9:45, but it was so worth it. Yeah, so
it's just
I love the poppy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, to be honest, this is probably one of the best poppy images I've seen.
Oh,
just because they're all backlit as well, leading you straight through.
Yeah. And the thing with poppies and anything that's that rich in colour, it's really easy to overdo it.
Yeah.
Like really oversaturate or get the wrong colour, like change the colour balance, and the poppies suddenly don't look like they did. So I have to be really careful with that one.
Yeah, I always find these are hard to edit, like you say, just getting that colour right.
Really hard. Poppies and bluebells.
Yeah. Bluebells are a nightmare.
Yeah, I've seen so many bluebell ones where it's like, Jesus Christ, radioactive bluebells.
I always find myself with a Sony having to desaturate as well quite a bit because it captures absolutely everything.
Do you know what, with the Sony as well, when I first got my Sony, everything was magenta. Because the colour science on the Canon is so different to that on the Sony.
Yeah,
I was having to pull it back to more the green, because you got the temperature, and then you've got those sort of greens to magentas. I was having to pull the magenta away because it just everything was just like, Christ. But I guess maybe you get used to it. I don't know. Maybe you get used to it. But
yeah, you do after a while. I went from Fuji to Sony.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
On the Fuji, I shot everything in the classic chrome profile.
Right.
Just because it was a more flattish profile to it. Everything else just seemed too punchy.
Yeah. Well, they say the Fuji greens, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got no idea what that means. I've never shot with a Fuji, but I'm assuming it's something to do with the greens.
Yeah. The greens. Yeah. The greens just bang in your face.
Yeah.
You have to just not show the greens.
I'll tell you an interesting story about this. Not this shot, but literally another quarter of a mile up, there's a sunflower field. Obviously not at this time of year. Sunflowers come out a bit later. But I was up shooting the sunflowers. I got a lovely sunflower. I haven't sent it yet. A lovely sunflower shot. Very similar to this. Similar time of day. Sun going down. Sunflowers. And I put it on a video. It might have been on the video. It might have been on Flickr. And someone said, "You've edited that. You've photoshopped that because all the sunflowers are facing the same way."
What were they all facing towards the sun by any chance?
Yeah, I know. Like that's what they do. So yeah, that was interesting. Some people.
Oh
no. What's the best comment you've had on one of your photos? Well, one of the silliest comments you've had.
Oh God, now you're asking. Probably that one. To be fair,
yeah. That'll take some beating.
Yeah, because they're
all facing the same way.
Yeah, to be fair, normally people are pretty complimentary, aren't they? There, I did have one that I took of a different windmill, and someone said, obviously photoshopped. The windmill wasn't there. Like, you're just going to turn up and take a picture of a field, and then Photoshop a windmill in it afterwards. Yeah. What's wrong with these people? Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh. Right then. On to the wildlife, Gary.
Yeah. Okay. So this is by Wycombe Fen, actually, but it's just slightly further round. It's called Adventurers Fen. And Daz, he put me onto it. It's Darren Knight, because he loves his wildlife photography.
He does.
He's very good at it as well. And he's like, "Oh yeah, no, you should go there. If you go there early enough, there's a barn owl, and it flies along a canal, or not a canal, but like a small river, flies along there, and you'll get loads of shots." So I was like, got there at like ridiculous o'clock in the morning, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my God," because I'd never shot an owl before ever, and I was catching it flying along this river, but it was really dark, so I was it was like ISO, sort of 8,000 or something, and it was sort of quite a long way away, and it was like really grainy, but I was so chuffed that I got this shot. And then there's this hide further along, and there's a load of reeds, so I was thinking, oh, maybe if I'm lucky, I can get a bearded tit or something in the reeds, or at least a reed bunny. And I sat there for like a good couple of hours, nothing. Walked back, and there's a guy who's there with didn't have a camera, but he had one of those, like monocular things, and he's there with that.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what are you looking at, mate? It's like the barn owl. It's just out and about. This was literally just where by the barn, where it was hunting and feeding. And I promise you, right? I got bored. I was getting so many shots of it and so much footage of it. I just got bored in the end and left, and it was still there. It was still going. I'm just because you've taken 1,500 shots of this owl. and even though even though it's like you've never done it before, you get to a point where you're like, well, what more, unless it's going to do a dance or something. I've run out of things to shoot. But and I like the negative space in this one. That's kind of why I posted this one. I sent you this one. I've got quite a few others, but I just like the negative space that it's sort of flying in.
Yeah, it's looking in the right direction as well into that space.
Yeah.
And the wings, as you've got them open. We had David Driver on, and he's his owls are fantastic, and he was saying the same. He'll go and take 5,000-6,000 shots on a night.
Yeah,
just to get one with the wings in the right position, like you've got there.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have done wildlife, but it can be so frustrating because like I went to the Lake District a little, last year, and there was this heron, and I was desperate to get a heron. But every shot, the heron was flying away from me. I don't know. It must have looped around the back of me, but along a tree line, and then as it flew back, it just kept flying away, and I'm like, I can't. And I was there for ages, and I just like couldn't get a shot of it. So yeah, I can understand that, taking loads and loads to get the right one, because when you do that, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Just takes a good few hours to sift through.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And all of your hard disk.
Yes. Yeah. Don't mention that to me. I've just updated all mine. So.
Oh God, well, I'm trying to think.
Was this the one you did through lockdown, Gary?
Yeah, this was in my back garden. So, that's when I started really with the wildlife, because obviously you can't go out. So you're like, well, what am I going to do? So I decided to just set up the bits and pieces in my garden and just start to try and get birds in. And this is with a Canon 5D. This one, 5D Mark III. So, nice. But I mean, I love this one because I love the shape of the birds, of the bird. But also starlings, they're such an underrated bird, because people look at starlings and think, oh, they're just boring and dull. But look at the colours on that, man. It's just, it's just lovely. Beautiful.
It's like a metallic colour, isn't it, going all the way through it, like a rainbow changing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is my favourite ever wildlife shot. I think.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Just because, it's obviously like had a bit of a preen, or it's like ruffling itself down after getting wet, and just the colours on it and the shape of it. The only thing that I wish, and even then it's not that bad, I wish it was sat on a nicer perch, but I guess that little bit kind of makes it a little bit interesting. So but
it tells the story though, what you were doing through lockdown and everything. It's again, we're going back to that story and the memories, aren't we? Bringing it back. But you mentioned before about that shape with this twig coming up, and its head just turns.
It's sort of doing a little less, isn't it?
It's absolutely cracking.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, Daz, this is right up your street, isn't it? The wildlife.
I'm starting to now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. What are you shooting?
5D Mark III.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, got the 70 to 200.
Yeah.
100 to 400.
Is that the push-pull one? Yeah. I had that. Oh, that's a lovely lens, that, Yeah, it's really nice and sharp. So, cool. Excellent.
But when we go out, that just brings everything and the kitchen sink, don't it?
Just been even 50-50, and I've never used it. Other than
word of advice, though, Daz, don't put it down in the pub.
No.
Right. Onto the waterfalls, Gary.
Okay. So this one. I think both the waterfalls I sent you were in South Wales. So I did this. I went through this phase with videos where I was kind of doing these like Gary's Adventures thing, where I'd go like up north and try and do 36 hours of of photography, and this was one where I'd done 36 hours in Wales. And Alan Coles, who's, I mean, I don't know if you all know Alan, right?
Yeah.
He's just the best bloke. Honestly, he's so friendly. He's so knowledgeable. I mean, that guy, what he doesn't know about South Wales isn't worth knowing, and North Wales as well. You say, I'm going to North Wales, and say, oh, you've been to this place. It's like, no one else has ever heard of, and he'll show you a photo. Oh my God, where'd you get that from? But yeah, he set it all up for me. So he gave me a list of places to go and said, oh, you can try here and then try here. And I actually met him and we went to this place, and this is like, don't even ask me to pronounce it. It's like I've got 15 F's in it, and it's like, it's ridiculous. But
face. Can anyone see face in that rock face on the left-hand side?
Yes, I can.
Yes. I've never noticed that before. Yeah. I've never noticed that before. I tell you what, there's one at Whining Brook. There's a really famous rock there that looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, I know which one you're on about.
Yeah. But I mean, this was the Upper Falls. I think actually the next one you're going to show, if it's the only other one I think I've done of waterfalls possibly here. That's it. That's the Lower Falls. So you've got the Lower Falls, and then you go across the road and up to the Upper Falls. But this one I like because of the foreground, really, because I was just like, well, I'm going to really emphasize the foreground. And again, that's like, I've got that linear gradient on where I've just, really sharpened up that foreground to make it more obvious. But the light in these places it's magical. It's kind of like, it's like a sort of like a fairy, like a little fairy glen type thing. It's sort of really magical and sort of mystical. But I love those, and I miss shooting waterfalls. I haven't shot a waterfall for ages, and I really miss it. I need to go back and do some more, I think.
Do you have a go-to shutter speed for your waterfalls?
No, I just do it on the day. So I'll just see what works. I don't think you can, because if the water's really flowing, your shutter speed,
it will
in one
get quicker.
Exactly. It'll be too. You'll have it too washed out, or not enough detail in it. I mean, I can't even remember what this is, but I'd imagine, I don't know. I'm not even going to guess.
Third quarter of a second.
Third quarter second, something like that.
What I find about waterfalls like this as well, it's the leaves on the trees.
Yeah,
I don't like shooting a waterfall where the trees are bare. I mean, about an hour from me, the Scaleba Force.
Oh,
that is pants this time of year. Because
that's amazing in the autumn, though. Oh my God!
Oh yeah,
because you've got all those golden leaves, haven't you? That are all sort of in the pools, and
and the leaves cover the top of the waterfall to get rid of the sky. It's
beautiful there. It is amazing there. But I mean, the other thing as well with waterfalls, I try and shoot. I know it sounds stupid, but I try and shoot the waterfall. I'm trying to, I don't, if there are branches or anything impinging on that shot, I probably won't take it. I want just the waterfall, if that makes sense. It goes back to saying, uncomplicated images.
Yeah.
Just because as soon as you start to introduce other things, it takes your eye off what you're trying to look at.
Yeah. It takes you away from the subject, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And into the woods.
Oh yeah, this is one of my favourite shots. This is, I think.
Is this Wyman Brook?
Yeah, this is Wyman Brook. Yeah. So you would normally you'd shoot upwards, wouldn't you? So you'd shoot upstream, looking at it coming down. But I went on this day. It was, oh my God, it was a horrible day. This is not mist. Well, it is mist, but it's rain, really, as much as it's mist. It was horrible. You know Wyman Brook. You can imagine how boggy it was. Literally, it was like a quagmire trying to walk down there. And in fact, part of it was closed off because this was just after, the storms that messed Hebden. Was it not Hebden Bridge? It was around there. There was
Hebden Bridge.
It decimated it, didn't it? And this was literally just after that. Like 2 days after that.
Right.
So water was absolutely raging down there. But I got there and I met up with another vlogger, Rob Alton, because I'd been chatting with him, lovely bloke as well. Met him and we sort of went down, and it was like this for the whole day. So it didn't change. The light was like this. The mist was like this the whole day. And I drove back through this mist. It was like literally, it was there all day long. And this was coming back. So I'd already shot quite a few images. And I just thought, you know what, that looks quite nice. And if the mist wasn't there, it would never work. Because that background would be way too busy and you just wouldn't get that separation of those trees going down. But because it was so misty, it just worked so well.
Yeah. You haven't been here, Dan, have you?
No.
Well, you should go. Yeah.
Like Gary said, when it's raging like that, the tones in the water, it is dark brown with peat.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It is.
But
it really is a lovely place, isn't it, Gary?
Beautiful place, and it's only just up the road from Surprise View and Lawrencefield and Padley Gorge. It's only like 15 minutes away from there. So if you're going to Padley Gorge, I would say this is better than Padley Gorge. I mean, loads of people love Padley Gorge, but I think the compositions, Wyoming Brook's got way better compositions than Padley Gorge.
Yeah, if you're after the water and the cascades,
especially
when you go over them two bridges, below the two bridges.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful there.
Yeah, last time we went, Daz, we were there and we looked at time. We're like, never.
We didn't get out, did we?
Well, there's so much, isn't there? There's just a shot everywhere.
I remember you were taking this one, Gary.
Yeah, this is Holme Fen. Have you guys been to Holme Fen?
No, I've never been.
No, you got to go if you haven't been. It's like a woodland photographer's heaven. It's just beautiful, and it's like there's just shots like this everywhere. I mean, this was lucky again because it was a lovely misty morning, and actually, weirdly enough, when I got into the fen, there wasn't any mist, and this just rolled in, and then this lasted a good couple of hours, and there's just shots everywhere. I got loads of shots from this, but I just like this one because it's quite cool, the tones.
Yeah,
it's almost blue in places, but you sort of when it goes against that brown, and it's kind of like real complementary colours.
Yeah, it's a nice subtle tone to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
What I thought about when I saw this, Gary, it was the depth that it gave me with that first silver birch on your right hand side leaning in, and then the broken one.
Yeah,
and the separation again.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a lot of that's down to the mist, but I just think it really is an amazing place to go, and there's shots like this like everywhere there, and woodland photography. I mean, Daz. I mean, both Daz's. Your woodland photography is just like outstanding. So you'll know, but you've got to go. You've got to go today. You'd love it. You would.
Yeah,
You'd absolutely love it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, quite easily get lost in there.
Yeah,
definitely.
I went to a woodland yesterday just for it said it was going to be misty, and I thought, I've never ever been in it before. I've driven past it loads and loads. I thought I'll go in and have a look, and it was bigger than what I thought. To be fair, there's some really, really nice trees in there, but it just needed mist.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work otherwise.
No, I think that's the thing. I think there are some woodlands that are just there's so much going on that if you haven't got that separation that the mist gives you, you struggle. This isn't one of them though. This you can shoot anytime.
Oh, nice. Looks to have a good variety of trees down there as well, Gary.
It's mainly birch, to be honest.
Is it?
It's mainly birch. There's a couple of areas that have got some oak in and I think some beech, but it's mainly a birch woodland. But I love birch. I mean, birch are my favourite trees, man. They're just that white and the shapes of them, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm drawn to the twisted oaks at the minute with the woodland that we've recently come across. It's just, yeah. When you find a little place, it's just magical, isn't it?
I find them hard to shoot though, twisted oaks. Probably because I'm not as compositionally minded as maybe you are, but I find because these are all quite straight and quite, they're not
quite uniform.
They're quite uniform, and there's not a lot of interaction between them. I find these quite easy. Whereas you get an oak and it's sort of doing everything. You know,
it's doing a pirouette, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like where how do I make an image out of that? How can I get a pleasing composition?
Yeah.
So I'm probably just not that good at those, but I love these.
Oh, nice. And going on to the next one.
That was the day before, weirdly. That was the day before at Holm Fen as well. And that's just on the edge of the fen. So, and I cloned someone out of this, actually. So,
Would it Jamie?
Jamie was there, yeah. Jamie was there, yeah. He was sitting in the bottom right hand corner. Well, not sitting. He was just walking off in the bottom right hand corner. I just cloned him out. But again, it's that mist, you see, and it's
Yeah.
you know, and I really like as well. And I didn't really notice this. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to go, oh yeah, I knew what I was doing here. But I like the warm to cool, sort of left
Yes.
to right is warm to cool, and
Yeah.
you know, that kind
Yeah.
of makes the image. But I didn't plan it. I didn't look and go, oh, it's warm to cool. I just went, oh, that's a like that tree looks cool.
Yeah.
And I like all the sort of fronds of the tree and the branches coming down. So
What I like about this, what makes this different, normally in woodland, yeah, you get a nice big scene. This, you've got that tree there and it's zoomed in, bang in to fill the frame.
yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
the branches dropping down on that right hand side. And like I
Yeah.
say, the colour tone as well. But it's very,
Yeah.
I'd often see an image like this where you've got a tree full on banging the frame. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's,
But normally I wouldn't take it. I'd shy away from those because I'm always like, oh, don't get the sky in a woodland shot, you know. But this kind of just works for me. I think it's because it's misty and also because it's quite diffuse in the background. But yeah, I love this one.
yeah, definitely. And this one.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That one I do like.
That, oh, thanks. We weren't keen on the others.
Daniel finds woodland photography very hard.
Yeah.
I've been asleep for 10 minutes.
Do you know what? Everyone says that, don't they? Oh, I find woodland photography very difficult. Always getting the order out of the chaos. Or trying to. Everyone does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, but you do it enough. I mean, I didn't start doing woodland photography till just after lockdown because you couldn't go anywhere. You just sort of found local woodlands, and it is difficult at first, but then eventually you work it out. You work out what looks right and what doesn't. And yeah, this is at Rolney Warren, it's called, which is again like 10-minute drive, 15-minute drive from my house. And it's just like saying a misty morning wouldn't work without the mist. And I just when I saw this, I just thought, oh, Pano, you know, because I do like those verticals. If you'd had the verticals in a portrait orientation, they don't work. But when you got them against a real strong sort of Pano landscape, I think they work really well.
Yeah.
So
I love a woodland pano.
Yeah,
it's really
just something about them. Yeah, but most of my stuff, if you notice, I've sent you is misty, so I can kind of get away with it.
That's what woodland is, though, isn't it? You go to the woodland for a walk in nature, but with your camera, you want the conditions especially in a woodland.
Yeah, if you can get a good mist, it's amazing. And the other thing about woodland, of course, is it's always like linked with wildlife, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's not, you know, you go there for this, but the wildlife you see as well. You know, I'm pretty sure, not on this day, but in this forest or this woodland I've been here before, and I've seen like a tree creeper, and woodpecker, and you know, it's just, you know, just the things you spot when you're wandering around.
Yeah, and I mean, when Daz comes with me, I took him to Ogden Water Nature Reserve. It's literally, I can walk it in 20 minutes from where I am, and took Daz up there, and he was same. I can hear a woodpecker. Poof.
Yeah,
he was gone.
I'm off. Yeah,
he was gone that way. What bother about photographing the woodland? He was,
yeah. Oh, there's a place you'd love, and I can't remember what it's called now. Unfortunately, it's in Derbyshire, and it's like it's a waterfall. I will find it out. I'll find it out and tell you afterwards. But there's a dipper there, and the dipper's got a nest in the waterfall.
Oh,
and it literally just circles around and sits on top of the waterfall, and you get some great shots there.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called. So
talking of dippers, the first time I took Daniel to Scaleba Force, he said, "Why are you taking that big off lens with you?" I've got the Sony 200 to 600, and you'll find out. I'm going to show you the waterfall.
Yeah,
but there's a dipper nest under one of the falls, and it was popping out, and like I say, it was fantastic.
Yeah, I love dippers. They're really characterful birds, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I'll tell you a story about wildlife. I was in a place called oh Christ, I can't remember it's Rymeads, RSPB Rymeads in near Ware, and they've got kingfisher hide down where they've got like one of those fake banks that they've made for
Right.
kingfishers to nest in. So, and I was desperate to get a kingfisher. I really keen to get a kingfisher. So I walked into this hide. It's a big hide. There's about 15 people all on the right hand side of this hide, all with their binoculars and their cameras. I was like, oh, they're waiting for kingfisher. So then I went and sat over on totally the opposite side from them, waiting for this kingfish. And they go, oh, is that it? Is that it? And I'm like, I can't see any kingfisher. Is that it? Is that it? Anyway, about 15, 20 minutes in, there's this like really weird brown big bird thing come out of these reeds. So I'm like, oh, I might as well shoot that. And as I shot it, they went, oh, is that it? Is that it? Oh, is that it? Oh, I can't see it. The reeds are in the way. And I went over and I went, oh, is that what you're on about? I got a clue what it. Oh, you bastard! It was a bittern, right? And I had no idea what it was. I was just there for the kingfisher, but it literally the only person who could see it was me, because they were obstructed because they were all sat over the other side, and that's what they were waiting to capture. So yes, so you can imagine how popular I was after that.
Yeah.
No, that's not following the crowds, though, isn't it? That's good, staying away from them.
And also having no knowledge at all of what you're doing.
What's going on?
Oh, nice. Right, onto your street stuff, Gary.
Okay,
this is where you're really excelling at the moment with this street.
Yeah, I love in street, but I have to say,
I'm ready now.
Yeah, you wait now.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah, the stuff I've sent you is not really what I do these days anymore. This is more my early stuff, but I wanted to sort of send this because it's probably stuff that maybe would appeal more to people watching rather than the stuff that I do now. This one that's Millennium Bridge, so it's sort of further down, sort of as you're looking up, so you can sort of walk up. If you've been up, I mean, sure, most of you guys have been over Millennium Bridge, but you come in and then you double back on yourself and you walk over, and that was sort of the low part as you're walking up on it. And I just saw that guy with balloons, and I just thought, oh, I really like that. Took the shot, got home, and went, do you know what? I reckon I could edit that a bit Banksy. So I kind of call that, like, I think I called it like a bit of Banksy or something, because I just thought it's, the way it's been edited, and it's almost sort of it's nothing like, the balloon was red and he was wearing a blue jacket, but other than that, that's real sort of graphical sort of editing.
It's more fine arty, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like that phrase, fine art.
Yeah.
Just, not, but I'll find people on videos put that with fine art. Come with me to some fine art photography. Like, what do you mean, black and white photography? Do you? That's what you mean, fine art photography, because lots of people click on fine art and everything says fine art. Sorry, I'm going off.
No, it's all right. Daniel, this is up your street, isn't it?
Yeah. I know exactly where I was there about 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago. So I know exactly where you were. Because am I right in thinking you've got your back to St. Paul's?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you face the Tate Modern, aren't you?
No. That's the other side of the bridge. So I've got my back. Right. No, you're right. Yeah, I'm facing the Tate Modern, but I'm on the Tate.
Yeah.
I'm on the Tate Modern side.
Right-hand side there.
Yeah, I'm on the Tate Modern side.
Yeah,
of the river. So I'm walking up, and then where he would be facing St. Paul's.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the next one,
that is that's Borough Market. That's 5D Mark III. So that was prior to me really sort of. This is really early in my street photography sort of adventure, or whatever you want to call it, journey. I think it looks like an album cover.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's a bit Oasis-ish, isn't it?
Yeah. I love a bit of Oasis, so thank you very much. Maybe they'll put it on for their new album.
You never know.
Yeah, but I like it. simply because it's just a slice of life. But again, I would never, I'd never edit it like that now. And my
Yeah.
editing's changed so much. This is like 5, 6, 7 years ago or something. I can't remember, but I'd never edit it like that now. But kind of, I like the fact that I did edit it like that, and I used to edit like that. But
Do
yeah,
you find that with everything though? We sort of, everyone sort of, we progressed more and more editing wise.
absolutely, and I think you get influenced, don't you? So what happens is what you're influenced by. What I was influenced by like 10 years ago, I'm not influenced by now, and the stuff that especially in street, because landscape photography is kind of, it's like time immemorial, isn't it? Everyone, you go and take landscape shots pretty much the same way. Everybody's done it that way for years, and there are trends. There are trends in composition, there are trends in editing, but they're kind of all very similar. They're all along the same path, and the same for wildlife. But street photography, like, what is street photography? There's so much. It's such a broad, broad church. It's like, you've got street portraiture, architectural photography, you've got candid street photography, you've got, almost like this here, for instance, and probably I think the other one is a bit more of an architectural shot, but this here is like, this was me bringing landscape into street. So the arches and the leading lines and
Yep.
it's all very like, and the way that the people are placed, kind of on the thirds to a point. It's all really like that is kind of really based in my landscape
Yeah.
photography.
That's
Whereas
where
now,
all genres come together, though, isn't it?
it is, yeah.
If you're learning one thing, it comes over onto something else.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think you should shoot as many different genres as you can, because I think you learn so much from doing that. You learn from street that you can use in landscape, and you can use in wildlife, and you learn from. But now my photography style is totally different. Street photography totally different from that. Probably because I've shot more, I've got more experience, but also your tastes change over time, don't they? So
Yeah, definitely. A question for you and Daniel then, because obviously you're both into street big time.
yeah.
What are your go-to settings if you have any?
Well, Dan, do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, it depends what the subject is. If you're doing panos, motion panos, maybe like a 30th of a second, ISO 800 or something or whatever it was. But it depends. I mean, you can go from literally a 30th of a second doing one subject to 2,000th of a second on the same location.
Yeah.
So settings for street it depends on what your subject is, in my opinion.
That's a very diplomatic answer.
Yeah.
No, I read it somewhere. I googled it about an hour ago.
I tend to shoot shutter priority, so I don't. I know a lot of people say shoot manual, but I prefer with street. I'll shoot shutter priority. I've got my ISO range from say 100 to, depending on the day, but if it's a dull day, 100 to 800 perhaps. If it's a bit of a better day, 100 to 400, and then I'm just shooting at the shutter speed that's going to push my aperture as wide as it can be.
Yeah.
So like, and I always shoot as well street with -1 exposure compensation, because I don't care if I lose the darks. I think, especially if you're shooting black and white, if you lose some of the shadows, that's okay. But if you blow the highlights, you can't ever recover that. And I just think you're better off. Yeah. So I normally shoot, like, I try not to go below, unless, like Dan says, unless I'm shooting like someone sitting with the train going past and I want the train to be blurred. If I'm just shooting normal street photography, I try to never really go below 1/250th of a second. So kind of mostly shooting about 1/500, unless it's a dull day. But then equally, you see, in street photography, ISO's not as important as it is in landscape.
Noise don't matter, does it?
No, if you get a grainy
Sometimes
image,
the grain adds it.
exactly, grainy image.
Sometimes grain in an image is nice.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So it's not as vital. But then things that are vital in street photography is you've got to think on your feet, and you've got to be ready for that moment. And you've got to be able to manipulate your camera how you want to. like, you know, so if a shot presents itself, boom, you know, I've got everything ready and I've taken the shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, those are my settings. Don't shoot manual generally.
Yeah. Right. Going on to this one then, Gary.
Very nice.
Well,
Yeah.
so obviously that's St Paul's Cathedral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was a weird day. So what I did, this was a video shoot, a street photography video that I shot, and this was like, I'm going to say it's about 20. I think this was with the Canon. I'm not sure. No, this might have been. I'm not sure. It could have been with my A600 because we'd have an A600 for a while. Anyway, I took my tripod because I went early and I wanted to get this particular shot. But it had been dry for months and months. Like the weather had been great. It's like August or something. And this one day it rained, and I was lucky really because you wouldn't have got those reflections and that feeling if it hadn't rained. But this shot came about, and this is genuinely true. And I'm sure it's a shot that's been shot many times by many different people, but I'd never seen this shot before, right? And look, if you were to be able to turn around and look behind me taking that image, there's a bar on the corner called the Core Bar, right? And I go once a year, or you know, a couple of times a year if I'm lucky, to go and watch a T20 game at the Oval, right, a cricket game. And we always go and have a few beers at this Core Bar afterwards. So this one particular night, I was absolutely like wankered. It's a better word. And I was laying on the floor, like literally laying on the floor, trying to do the caterpillar. Do you remember the caterpillar? Like,
we need a recreation.
Yeah. Oh no, I was a bigger lad back then as well, so you can imagine. Yeah, so I was laying on the floor doing the caterpillar, and I sort of looked up and went, "Ooh, that's quite a good shot," you know. In my drunken state, and I thought I must come back here when I'm sober. And so I did. Yeah, so I did. I just come back one morning with a travel tripod, and
So a drunken caterpillar led to this shot.
A drunken caterpillar led to this shot. Yeah.
Oh, like I said though, this wouldn't look anything like it without that rain on the floor, that wetness on the floor. Just
exactly. And also, if you look, there's loads of rain on the lens.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
So there's loads and I think that adds to the shot. So
yeah.
I think there was one of those over the dome, like so I got rid of that because I thought, well, I don't want it over the dome, but over the other bits, it kind of adds to the shot. It's, you know, it tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it sort of says it was a wet day. So yeah, I love this one, and you know, loads of people sort of go, "Oh yes, I really like that shot." But yeah, I really like that one.
And
I was once told, I don't know if it's true, so quote me if I'm wrong.
I'm going to tell you you're right. I'm going to tell you you're right. No, you're right. I know exactly what you're going to say. It's about the buildings around St Paul's, and you're right. Yeah.
Like that, for instance, there, like, you could not build anything at the very bottom of that alleyway to block the view.
And if you look,
you're not allowed to build anything.
If you look at the building that's sort of halfway down on the right-hand side, it's got a sloped roof because you can't build. You couldn't build that straight because it would block the view of St Paul's. So all the roads that lead to St Paul's, the buildings have to allow the view of St Paul's to remain.
Yeah,
right.
They can't block any of the view. Yeah.
Nice. That's interesting facts as well on here. Look,
I didn't Google that. I do know.
Settings and everything. He's Googled a lot, but he didn't.
Yeah. that little A button on his camera, he just puts it to that.
Yeah, exactly.
AI is the one.
Oh, don't go there. Don't start an
AI. And a classic, Gary.
A classic shot, isn't it? It's just a classic.
What you've absolutely nailed it.
Classic shot that everyone gets, and the reason this one works actually, or works slightly better, is because it was a bit of a misty night. So actually, you've got like some interesting. The sky above isn't just black, so it's catching it because it's misty. It's catching the lights, the street lights, and all of the lights. So it kind of works, but. Yeah, it's just, do you know what? It's just a classic shot, isn't it? And actually, I've got a couple of other shots that I probably prefer from this night down on the shore. So I was down on the shore shooting the Millennium Bridge, shooting St Paul's with the Millennium Bridge like as a leading line. And because the tide was out, you've got like some nice bits and pieces in the foreground because it's long exposure. You've got all the lights, but you know, I had to put this one in because it's a classic shot, isn't it?
Yeah. And classics there to be taken, aren't they?
Exactly. I hate people who say, "Oh, you should never take honeypot shots." Of course you should. If you know,
but if you haven't taken the shot before and you want the shot, take it.
Yeah, obviously, you know, if you're there, look around and see what else is there. But certainly take the shot. You know, and I think they're good. You know, especially in landscape, they're good. They teach you as well when you're first starting. You know, what looks good. What, you know, why is this shot the honeypot shot? Well, because of the composition. That's why. And then you learn about the composition and what works in composition. So,
yeah, definitely.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate that.
So.
Yeah, like I said, the classic for a reason. What I like about this, obviously it's nighttime. It's the fact that St Paul's is lit up.
Yeah.
It's listen, through the day it's still nice, but the fact you haven't got any people on the left and the right, it's potluck.
Yeah,
it's potluck. I mean, was this quite late or obviously quite late? It's nighttime there, but was it?
I think
it's because, like I say, it's very, very quiet there.
I think it's about 9:30, 10 in sort of late year, sort of November time. I think. I think there were a couple of people in the very at the very bottom, but because it's such a long exposure, you don't see them. They've kind of they've kind of disappeared. Whereas the people at the top that you can see there stood very still. I think there were a few people milling about, but the one thing there that you've got to be careful of is if you get too many people, it's not getting them in your shot; it's that they bounce the bridge up and down. So you get blurry, you know, you get movement in your shot because they're your tripod and your cameras sort of vibrating ever so slightly. So and that's a pano as well. I think that's like a 5-shot pano or something.
Right.
Yeah. It's a 5-shot pano. It's not just a one straight shot. I can't remember. I think that was with the 5D. You know, I think that was with the 5D as well.
Really?
In fact, I'm pretty sure it was. Because I didn't normally take the 5D because at that point I'd bought an A6000 just to cheat, and that was my street photography thing. But I did one of those tags, you know, where you can tag the bag and put it away for the day. Went and did street and put my bag away in a pub somewhere, and then went and got it back, and then had the tripod and did this at night.
Oh, right. It's one of them shots where you wish when people are on it, just keep moving. Just keep moving.
Yeah, don't stop.
Motion blur.
Yeah, don't stop.
Motion blur.
Yeah.
That image, it'll changed again because there've been new buildings there and.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Cranes, you know.
Yeah, it changes all. I mean, London changes so much. You want to like Canary Wharf is like there's just buildings going up there all the time. So every time you go to Canary Wharf, something different's been built. You know.
Yeah, my daughter's off down at Canary Wharf tomorrow.
Sorry.
My daughter's going down to Canary Wharf tomorrow.
Oh, is she? Yeah, that's a great place for photography, Canary Wharf as well.
Oh yeah,
really good.
Security could be quite. They're not interfering, but the security often approach you, though. Do you not find?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you're honest with what you're doing and show them, they're generally 9 times they're fine. They're absolutely fine.
They're normally okay. The worst one I had security-wise was at London Stadium. So you know the Olympic Park and there.
Yeah.
I had some guy come up to me. He's like, "Can I ask what you're doing?" I'm like, "Well, taking photos, mate." What do you think I'm doing? I've got a camera in my hand. I'm preparing for a juggling exhibition. I don't know, but and he's like, "Can I ask you why are you taking photos?" Well, because I want to take photos. I'm enjoying it. He's like, well, let me just check if that's okay, because that whole area is private, even though it's public thoroughfare. It's all private. So he checked, and he's like, "Yeah, no, it's fine. You can do it. But if anyone else asks you, just, you need to take it." I was like, "Yeah, okay." Walks along like 200 yards. What are you doing, mate? Well, take your photo.
Oh no!
But there are a lot of places like that in London. So you've got a lot of areas that are all public and they can't do anything about it. But like all the private shopping centres and like I can't remember what it's called, but there's one by Tower Bridge. And I was talking about it on my video saying, "Oh, I don't want to get stopped." And people are like, "Well, saying, why are you going to get stopped?" But there's one particular area that's all private, and they've got private security there. And you know, they could easily say, "I'm sorry, but you can't take photos here." They could get sniffy, but generally they tend to be okay.
I know another St Paul's location. I forget the name. It's the one something. No, the one with the lift to the Sky Garden.
One new square,
you know what I mean?
one new street, one new
something
square.
like that. Yeah,
yeah.
The one with the spiral staircase,
Yeah.
and then the lift to the Sky Garden.
Is that with the glass
security
lift?
hot?
Yeah.
The security in there are hot.
Right. I've seen a video from there.
See, trying to get that cliche one of the stairs.
Yeah.
That's hard.
You can shoot in there, but you can't use a tripod. They get really funny if you use a tripod. And I get to tell you a story about that. I went in there with Justin Crane, who's another vlogger, and we were shooting around London because we wanted to go in the Sky Garden. And we went in there and the Sky Garden was shut. And we went, "Oh, should we have a beer?" Don't go in there for a beer. Bloody ridiculous prices, honestly. And you can't stand at the bar. You can't go to the bar. You go to the bar and they say, if you sit down, someone will come over to you. I'm just like, serve me a beer. I'm just walking to the bar. It's not with people. Southerners, though, you see. I know you think I'm a Southerner, but I'm not a Southerner. You're more Southern than I am.
You're not a true Southerner.
No, I'm from Peterborough. I class myself as almost Northern.
So, going on what we've seen so far, Gary, what is your favourite genre of photography at the moment?
Right now, street. Yeah, street. I've kind of not fallen out of love with, but I went up. This is the last time I did a real proper landscape shot. About 2 years ago, I went to Crimpy Eye in Snowdonia, or Erie, or whatever you want to call it. Sorry. Whatever, Erie, yeah. Went on Crimpy Eye, and I just kind of looked and thought, it's really lovely, but it's not doing it for me like it used to. You know, those sort of landscapes, those sort of big vistas used to really do it for me. And now they don't. And I still love woodland. I do love woodland. But yeah, no, street now, because you can go to the same place 2 days running and get totally different shots. Never the same.
See, I'm in that mindset literally as we speak now.
Yeah.
The transition from landscape to street.
Yeah.
It just started. I mean, I did street years ago, but I've got back into it literally 2025. So I'm literally on that transition. Like, landscape for now just does not appeal to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even consider going to a landscape now for a little while.
Yeah.
But no, I like to say street for me at the moment, 100%.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It's like I do. If the opportunity presents itself, I will go out. I still love a bit wildlife photography, you know, and I do really enjoy woodland. But for me, street's so much more accessible. You know, it's like you guys living where you live. You know, you're not far away from a national park somewhere, an area of natural beauty. It's not that much around here. So it's like there are places, but like, for instance, that poppy field, or there's a lone tree, but the conditions have got to be so right for it, you know, that it's quite difficult to go out and get that shot. Whereas London's like, you know, 50 minutes on the train for me. It's only like 25 quid for a travel card around London. And I can spend all day there. And, you know, when I've got a camera, I can spend all day there, you know, and it's good, you know. But I love it. I love street. I love the whole, and I've started to interact with people now. And whereas before, you know, I used to sort of shoot 50mm, but really it was 75mm because it was on an APS-C sensor. And now I'm shooting like 28mm on a full frame, and I'm getting in close, and you smile, and you know, and I love it. I love street. Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
So, Daniel.
Yeah, London for me, 7 hours. On the National Express.
Yeah. But you're not far from Manchester, are you? Because Manchester's
2
hours
on the train.
Yeah, Manchester's great for street. You know?
Yeah.
I love Manchester. I'd love to go back there, actually. The northern quarter of Manchester's fantastic. You know, loads of graffiti and loads of...
I've done it once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
Same as Liverpool.
I struggled.
But like I said, it's accessible. Yeah. Really?
I did, yeah. I really struggled. I went to a place where all the graffiti was, you know, where they do the murals of like Jurgen Klopp and all that. I struggled with it. I really struggled. I don't know why. I just found that difficult. Been there twice.
The Cavan area is quite nice.
It's great bars. There's one there called Robert.
Yeah, but there's a cliche about Scousers, you know. You've got to watch them Scousers there.
I don't mind. Do you know what? I don't mind Scousers, but I will tell you a story if you want me to. About going out. I went to Liverpool with a mate, and we went to Flares. You know, Flares is on that. What's it called? Matthew Street, isn't it? We went in there, and me and my mate are sat there, and there's this guy, and he was sort of going. I can't quite remember what he was saying. It's like, "You're not from around here, are you?" I'm like, "No." He said, "You thinking about going to?" And I'm like, "No, I'm having a good time." Just, it's like, "Yeah, but you think you should think about going to?" And my mate's going, "I think we should go." And I'm like, "Oh, you're not going anywhere." It was almost like he was trying to force me to leave because I was Southern. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, "No way am I leaving. No way." And in the end, he left. So, but yeah, that was funny. But Rubber Soul's a great bar up there. Really good.
Yeah. Nice. And one thing with street photography is a bar on every corner.
Exactly. Just don't leave your bag.
Yeah. Oh. Well, thank you very much, Gary. It's been an absolute pleasure, this. Really.
I've really enjoyed it myself as well.
Yeah, I've looked forward to this one.
Yeah, street photography, right? Daniel's alley.
Yeah. What we're going to do, you're going to do London 24, aren't you? 24 in,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that as well, I think. So we'll see you there, definitely.
There's a few, isn't there?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Daniel's going to...
Yeah, I've got a history of my travel plans this year.
Falling apart.
Well, I'd take falling apart right now. That would be nice. But so I mean, but I'm definitely doing London 25. I've wanted to do it for a while. And obviously meeting yourself and a few other guys down there.
Yeah.
But I was there a few weeks back. I did 15 miles and I was aching.
Yeah.
I was sore.
Yeah.
I was painful.
Yeah.
So 24 hours. There might be a few corners, stop-offs, shall we say.
There's loads of McDonald's. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I tell you what, though, I was thinking about just getting it, like, trying to maybe see if a few of us want to cobble together and get an Airbnb. And then just, like, if you're tired, you can just have a couple of hours sleep, just get a cheap Airbnb. You know?
Yeah.
Just somewhere in the area and just say, well, you can have a couple of hours and then, like, it didn't have to be like a massive place because you could just share the beds, you know, like on a rota. If you're tired, go and have a kip.
Okay. Yep, top and tailing.
Yeah. I'm not doing that with you, though, Dan. I'm sure I can find something better.
Oh. Don't plant the seed. Okay, that's fine. No. Yeah, look forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Didn't mean to upset you, Dan.
Well, I think we'll end on that thought.
Good show.
So Daniel's going to be getting a new duvet soon, I think. Oh, he's crying. Look. Oh, yeah. We'll leave all Gary's links below anyway, so go check all his channel and that out. Check out his street stuff because it's, it's out of London so far. It's been absolutely fantastic.
It's different now as well from what I've shown you. So, a nice progression, a nice looking at Gary's images and his photography. So, as always, if you've enjoyed this, please give us the old thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing because, Dan, how much it costs to subscribe?
Did you see the face there?
Yeah.
It was coming. It's for free. All right, it's for free. There's no jingles, no bells today. It's just for free.
So even on season 2, it's still free. So,
Hang on a minute. Sorry, there's no jingle. You know, photo pieces.
Oh!
I only came on for that.
Oh, yeah, that gets put on the editing side.
Oh, brilliant. But that'll be on, won't it?
Yeah, that'll be on.
Okay, okay.
Oh, we'll add all that.
I'll let you use it.
You can sing it again, though, Gary, if you want.
I don't know. I can't remember. I thought it was very good.
We'll end with that bit of karaoke and we'll see you all on the next one. Bye for now.